All right, good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your resource for success. New podcast has returned, Unveiled, where all conversations are safe, revealing, and uncuffed. And tonight's show is partnered with Chris's Dishes. And guess what, you guys? I am back. I have some crazy criminals hanging out with me tonight. My new hosts, and I have some special hosts with me as well, who will be with us on a regular. But I also have somebody really special I really want to introduce, and he's my new hubby. See, I've been gone so long that people are probably wondering why I left. I needed a break, but it's okay. I'm back now with action. We're going to have something great for you guys coming out even for the new year. So this is just a snippet of what the new year is going to look like. So please, hubby, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. This is Carmine Pesce. I am the hubby of this wonderful woman that's doing this podcast. And I was a little apprehensive at first to even do something like this because I'm not a one who is outspoken, but I do like a good conversation, and I decided that this is a good forum to do it in. And I am not a criminal.
You're my criminal.
She calls me a criminal, but I'm not a criminal. I am a disappointed gangster from Brooklyn, New York.
There you go.
But I am not a criminal. I'm not a criminal because I was never caught doing anything illegal.
Disappointed gangster. I love that.
So we will talk about that sometime later.
No, all right.
There was that one time you were young and needed the money.
I always needed money when I was young.
I mean, there you go.
How I got it was it was a challenge, but I persevered. And that's a different story we have on a different podcast, because I will tell you this. I did see the inside of a jail cell.
No judgment.
But I was never convicted.
Make sure you got your papers ready for retirement, babe, because when they hear this, sir, it's time for you to go, okay? All righty. So I have over here to my left and to my right these other wonderful hosts. One has definitely been with me on more than one occasion on my show, and he's also, like I said, he is partnered with us tonight with Chris's Dishes. But I have wonderful Chris and Jenn Chavez. Ta-da! Welcome.
Again, hello.
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 You're so fancy.
I try. Oh, who's... you
introduce-
go ahead. No, ladies
hey.
first. Go ahead, man.
Aw,
Isn't
you're
that
so
sweet?
sweet.
I know, I try.
So good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. First, I want to thank Kim for inviting us to join her on this endeavor. It's definitely going to be exciting. My name is Jenn Chavez, and I've known Carmine and Kim for quite some time. Not only did we used to work together, but we are actually more like family. Excited to have some revealing, uncuffed conversations, dig into some things that you might not necessarily be comfortable talking about, but we're going to make it comfortable for you. So enjoy.
Chris Chavez. I am the owner, operator of Chris's Dishes with my lovely wife. I belong to her, Jenn.
Well, you are cuffed there.
I am cuffed there. So. I mean, it happens. Other than that, I mean, I know this is like my third go around, I believe. That I've been here.
It is.
So it's kind of an honor to actually be a part of the crew. So I'm kind of looking forward to this because I've been getting inspired to do something like this too.
All right.
So.
Well, that's why I'm here. It's all about inspiration, right? They all got to come out of our comfort zones.
Yes.
It's funny because we were kind of rehearsing and getting things prepped for yesterday for today, and I was telling Carmine, I said when I went back and looked at and listened to some of my old very first podcasts, I was like, I don't see how anybody in the world wanted to listen to me.
Was it bad?
Bad. It was bad. So, when you jump out into something of the unknown, you just really don't know what you're getting into.
Truth.
But this has really become a huge part of what WSBI is all about. It's about creating.
And I think this is actually becoming a lot of what the world is into more now. So they're kind of getting away from the 4-letter bad word news, and they moving into more of listening to podcasts and their favorite hosts and people that were on those shows before. Mm-hmm. So now, like for me, honestly, like I'll be honest, and I talk to my buddy about this, and I tell the wife this all the time. I was like, the only reason why I really watch the news nowadays is to watch the weather and the traffic. because if you live in Northern Virginia, you need both to
Absolutely.
survive.
Absolutely.
And everything else is nonsense.
Yeah,
Opinions
right.
and innuendos.
Yep, pretty much.
I firmly believe that you believe none of what you hear and only half of what you read.
And that's if you're lucky.
And
Especially
you make your own opinions, and you do your own due diligence in finding out what's real and what isn't real, and it comes from emotion, right?
Except the traffic, because that's real. We have worse traffic here than we had in New York. I'm convinced.
Well, you know what? At the time, I never looked at the traffic news. I just got in my car and drove, right? And
can't do that.
Do that now. You could go out and think that there's no traffic, and here we are, like yesterday morning. Right. Make that turn, and all of a sudden I get yelled at because I let somebody in who was in the yield lane.
Do you not know
come
how
in
to
there,
merge? Is that the issue?
and she goes, "I'm worried about the cars behind you." I says, "I'm being very Christian here. Let the person go in."
Very Christian.
Yeah, why the rest of them are sticking out on the other end, right?
My God.
Because
no big deal.
It wasn't me sticking out in traffic.
I believe that just happened.
Somebody's going to flip you off the next time you do that.
Well, I mean, so like going back to the merge thing, she hates when I do this. It's like you get in the car, like my instant like Afghan Iraq road rage kicks in. It's like, do you not know? Have you not read the book? It's very front to back, left to right. It says how to merge. It's called the zipper effect. It's not that hard, people. It's very easy. But you start going on Northern Virginia traffic is like, haha, I don't know what I'm doing.
They're on the rules.
Yeah. And then when the kryptonite starts to fall, God help us. Like
the rain or snow.
Rain or snow. The first drop, you would have thought it was a nuclear holocaust with some drivers around here.
Exactly.
It's like, dude, really?
Exactly.
Because you're supposed to go faster in the snow.
Is that how it works?
And brake as hard as you can. Don't turn into the way you're drifting. I was like, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, now that we have revealed our driving expectations in this household, we're good. So what do you guys want to really unveil?
You know what? You said something on your
Reveal.
intro that I thought was really important, especially people in our age bracket, about needing a break. You needed a break. You needed to take a minute. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, that was always a bad expression. Oh, I needed a break. Like, what the hell you need a break for? Get off your ass, go do some work, figure it out.
Right.
But you needed a break from podcasting. As you know, I needed a break from what we were doing at work.
I needed a break from cooking.
You needed a break from cooking. Exactly. We all need breaks.
And I needed a break from being alone.
Well, yes, that's the most important. But now you have a permanent.
Because what happens is you become a recluse to your job. You become 10, 12-hour days because there's nothing to come home to but a TV.
So, in going off what she's saying, like that is absolutely true. That I don't think people realize that a job, okay, yes, a career can be people's careers, but for people like the wife said, in our age bracket, most of us have already had our careers. Like I was a 20-year veteran of the United States Army. You've been working for the government for how long? She's had her own company. You've had your own company. It's like
more than once.
It's like
exactly.
What we're doing now. It's like if you told me I could go home and garden and hunt and fish, take care of the wife, be the trophy husband, dude, I'm all about it. That's
Euphoria, right?
Yeah,
there
it's
you go.
Trophy
Husband. I love it because I was telling Carmine, I said I'm so excited about him getting ready to prepare for retirement. And he doesn't really think about that you've spent 30 years with one company and then you've turned around and started another whole new career with the organization of the government, right? You get to the point where when is enough going to be enough?
100%.
I would rather have you be a house hubby and hang around and be happy and do what you want to do than to keep thinking that the world that you owe them something. 100%. And the reality is you've done your time.
And who knows? I'll start my own podcast.
There you go. There you go.
You and Chris can start chefing together and shit.
Yeah.
We call it.
We got the Italian stallion over here.
The Father Pesce Hour.
There you go.
No,
there
because
you
the Jew here can't track to that, all right?
Now I am disturbed.
Okay, I'll call it Father Rabbi Jew.
We're just going to...
Well, because your nickname at work is always Father Pesce.
Well,
that's how I was introduced to him.
I'd just
Father
like to
Pesce.
caveat for everybody that he is nor a father in the sense that he wears a thing around his neck that's white, nor is he a rabbi that he wears a big hat. Okay, just, everybody's tracking. No.
But you know
All right,
what?
go on with your
So my point
your
to
break.
that whole thing with needing a break is, we all work together at one point or another. In the last 6 years, we all worked and traveled and did great things. And it came to a point where when I left the position working with you guys, I was almost embarrassed to tell people that I needed a break. And I started having people ask me, oh my God, why did you leave? You know, why did you leave your position? And, you know, people aspire to get into where you were. And I'm like, that's cool. That's great. But I needed a break. I was going to proverbially hurt somebody if I didn't take that break. And I was talking to a friend of mine who works at the Navy, and she was saying how she needs a break, but she can't do it because she loves her job and people rely on her. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, no, man, like, you are in your 50s, and you need a break.
And tell them what I used to tell you all the time. Same thing about the Army. Trains keeps going. And honestly, when you're gone, no one really cares.
Thank you. Hello.
No one really cares.
There'll be that little moniker of someone who misses you because they
right.
relied on you so much.
Yes.
Exactly.
And they feel that how are they going to function without you, right? But that goes away relatively quickly. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
If one thing taught me in the commercial world is that no one's indispensable. And in the government,
absolutely.
Everybody's indispensable.
Doesn't
matter.
Hello. That's right. Exactly.
It's almost like if my best way to equate it is like a restaurant. Okay, no matter what, there's another restaurant you can go try out. You know, there's another place you can always go and sample something else. But when you're gone and you've left the restaurant, most people won't remember your name except if you go to certain restaurants way too many times. They're like, you guys haven't been here in a while. Then you're like, oh boy.
Then you need to check your bank account to see how much money you've been spending eating out. But
so that analogy is really good because you go to a restaurant frequently and a chef could leave, the wait staff could leave, and it becomes mediocre.
Yep.
But you're still married to the fact that this is my favorite place.
Yes.
Even though I don't like the food anymore.
Service sucks.
Service sucks.
Service
and
sucks.
I'm out of here, right?
Exactly.
And I'm never coming back. So what we do is we stay in that.
That bubble.
Yes.
Yeah. But like I was telling Jen, is that the last 2 weekends ago when we all went out to brunch and whatnot?
Yes.
I told her when we left, I was like, I'm very saddened. I was like, we can't go back there. Because they changed the menu because I was so looking forward to a particular item because it was so good.
Oh, wow.
He had feelings.
I did. I really did. I
Absolutely.
did a little bit. I mean, like, I was like,
gosh.
are you serious? Like, okay, listen, people. Okay, when I got out of the Army, I went to culinary school, in case y'all didn't know, and I did savory and pastry. I owned my own business with the wife, and, you know, I kind of moonlighted in other places. But it's very hard to find a serious croque madame in this
You
town.
sound so bougie right
Hey,
now.
you know what? It's true. It's really true. But a good croque madame is just, so good. Okay, back to you.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm
Hey,
good.
salivating.
I've had
It's a moment. Give the man
It's
a
like,
apple.
woo!
Oh,
Bring
thank
it
you.
in, bring it in,
Thank
bring it
you.
in. Don't
Thank you.
cry. It's going to be all right.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm always
Right.
interested to hear how people are, where they are in their careers. Again, you know, we've all had businesses. We've all had our first careers. And this is supposed to be what I refer to as our sunset career, right? Like,
Right.
out into the wind, here we go. Let's just get this going, get it done, and move out. But you become, to your point, Carmine, married to the job. You become emotionally invested. And I just love the fact that you said you needed a break and you turned the switch to off rather, and said, I'm taking this break. And it was for your health and your well-being.
But it was difficult.
It was.
Because I've been podcasting for almost 8 years.
And that is a
And when you
testament.
think about having to interview almost 300 people in the 8 years and the amount of work and time and effort it goes to it, I felt like I was going to be disappointing too many people. I still have people reaching out to me every week. Hey, we want to get on your podcast. I got this person and I need you to interview. But nobody thinks about what goes on in the background.
No.
And it wasn't just the podcasting. It was all the other business stuff that I literally was running a full-time business. And a lot of people don't realize that even though you have a career, part of my career in life was about doing my businesses and taking a break from the business and going back into the work world. A lot of people don't understand, why do you do that,
So
right?
let me ask you, how did that make you feel?
It was, at first it was kind of like, I miss what I really enjoy working for myself. I have to answer anybody, but there was people that, excuse me, that depended on me. So it's a little different. Your attitude is very different about what you're doing. But
depending on you, like at
for work, I mean,
the
you know,
big,
that
the big
paycheck,
girl job or the
paycheck. They,
okay.
they need me to make sure I'm giving them the money they need to survive. So when you're making those types of decisions, it's what is really going to be valuable and what isn't going to be valuable. But what I needed to do was realize that I had to take some time off. And then when you asked me to come back, I struggled for a minute. I really did, because I was really starting to rebuild something that I thought was amazing, being able to do a lot of corp-to-corp type business work, building a brand that was truly coming to fruition. It was no longer just about helping people write books, helping people set up podcasts, helping them see their vision. My vision was starting to elevate.
Right.
But then I was also at the same time worn out.
Right.
I had been doing this for years. I was starting to just, I don't want to be here anymore scenario in my mind. It just, everything was starting to come to a head. So taking this break that I took has been beyond what I thought it could ever be.
Sure.
So in this break time that I have been out for doing the podcasting,
your aha moment came.
My aha moment came. Now I'm a married woman. Never thought about getting remarried again.
That we're gonna have a separate podcast,
and we will have a separate podcast. But it's like everything has changed. These last 7 months of my life has been tremendous. But it's been the best part because I have been able to rely not just on myself, but be able to have a partner in life where I can truly grow with until the day I'm no longer here. And we have, like I said, there'll be another whole podcast, but it's just understanding your role and understanding where you're at in your life. And like you say, I'm in my mid 50s, almost 60s, so I'm just truly ready to slow down.
100%.
And I'm there. And so doing this again, I wasn't being forced into it. I decided I really want to get back into it, but on my own terms.
Right. There's a choice.
And there's a choice.
See, and when at the beginning of this year, 24, I had to have a serious conversation with her about Chris's dishes. That I was honestly, it came to fruition because of an incident that happened in 22. Yeah.
22.
Was it 22?
It was.
Yeah, 22. Where I, not to like kill the mood, but I went out and I contemplated doing something really stupid to myself. Okay. And it was doing something that I really am very passionate about, and going out hunting. And I was like, today's the day. But 10 years ago, I would have been like, I'm going to attempt this. I went home and I told her. And I was like, wow, that is just a ballsy thing to do, to tell your wife what you were about to do. So I started seeing a doc again, but it got to the end of 23, and I did a party on my birthday down in a place in Virginia. Yep. 2.5 hours away, drove there, did the party, drove back, got home at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Got up, started the next day, got up, started unpacking, cleaning everything, so on and so forth. Then I realized, I was like, I am doing exactly what I was doing when I was in the Army. Mm-hmm. This is nothing more than like planning to go to the field for 5-6 days and coming back and be totally exhausted. And then what does that do? It's like I'm missing my time with my wife.
Yeah.
So that was my reason for taking a break.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, when I started Chris's Dishes, I was going to culinary school. I had a big 9-to-5 job, and I was starting to try to run a business, and it just drove me into the ground.
Yeah. So
now, when you said aha moment, I've had some moments where I'm like, that's great. Okay, I could do that. And then, but it's now I see where you're at, and that, like the thought process of like having someone to converse with it and make it happen. Like she had her own 9-to-5 routine, right. 100%. And I tried to we tried to do as much as we could with Chris's Dishes, but at the same time I was like, I know she was very determined to be number one at what she did. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do a lot of this on my own. She helped as much as possible. And now it's like, I have a thought in my head, mm-hmm. which I've played with her out loud, just bits and pieces here and there. But I want to this could work in this fashion, but not take away from the time with her. because they probably could include her, and she doesn't know anything about this. So
Just the face that I'm
Yeah.
It's like that.
Is there something you're trying to tell me?
the whole thing behind this is
Just
like
remember,
going.
you're still cuffed, my friend.
Yeah, I know. That was my wrist hitting, just so we know. But the whole where I was going with this, between needing a break and come back to the aha moment, like there is a particular time, especially for people who have gone. For me, it was from the age of 18 on the 24th of July, 1997, when I had my head shaved, to the 31st of July, 2017. I was 1,000 miles an hour. And on the August 1st of 2017, I was 1 mile an hour. And it was rough.
And I think that's everybody.
It's that stop.
Yeah,
Are you
it's
expecting
literally
that?
stop.
What?
Carmine, are you expecting to hit that 1 mile per hour? Are you ready for that 1 mile per hour?
I'm decreasing my speed as I go along.
Are you?
I seriously, I never thought that. I thought that before she came into my life, I really thought that I was going to work till I die, and that was like the stupidest thing to even think about, right?
I feel that.
Because I can never imagine stopping or slowing down, right? But being married again and being in life again and love again, it proves the fact that you can decelerate. You just need a plan to do that,
Right?
Because work is not as important as it is the relationship.
Yeah, because you're not going to take that when we're gone.
Exactly. No matter how much money you save, no matter
How big your
how
house
big the
is,
house is, whatever
Yeah.
you buy to put in it, when you leave, somebody's going to be making a decision of where it's going to go. Now, obviously, we got kids. Great, they're going to get some of it, but they're not going to want everything we have. But
It's just, they want us around,
right? Exactly.
And I now being a grandpa, I want to be around Luna, and I don't want to be worried about, oh shit, I can't take off from work.
Right.
I'm going to take off from work.
Yeah, exactly.
Life goes on.
That's like going back to what just happened lately with us. Is like I went back to a new job for the third time at the same place.
Because you're a glutton for punishment.
right.
But really, it was just to help somebody out. But like, she made a comment, and I've been really thinking about it. But we have an end goal, but it's where we work. There is no happiness there.
Oh my God.
No one.
It's gotten bad. Yeah.
Like the level of what's the right word? The lack of
Leadership?
Well, that too.
The morale is
Terrible.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
It's gone.
Like it's so bad that it takes people to stand up to other people. So, like, I'll give you a really good example. The other day, somebody came in and said, "Hey, we got to start doing this," and I was like, "No, we're not doing that." And I just got the look. And now, mind you, I'm on my third or fourth day in the office, and everybody was like, "What just happened?" Like it was a brand new thing.
You can't say no.
Oh, but the way I said it was,
But you said it abruptly.
and you guys know
and that wall hit them right in the face.
And you guys know that, like, and it may not sound like it, but I'm a man of very few words. But when I say things, I know what I'm talking about, and I will back it up. And I'm pointing for the viewers who can't see anything to the wife here.
Right.
Is, I have my arsenal of tools to back things up. So it was like, hey, we need to do this. I started rattling things off. Like, that's not my job. That's that's a government supervisor's job, because that's what they're tasked to do. I'm not doing your job. And I just went on about my business, and everybody was just like, well, okay, so here we go.
Right. So it's interesting. People might not realize. So the four of us all worked in the same organization at one point, right?
in different
capacities.
positions,
Right.
Absolutely.
Well, actually, hold on.
Right.
And then-
Everybody here has been a contractor or government.
Yes.
Minus me.
Except
I've
for
never
you,
been
right.
government. I've just been contractor the whole time.
Right.
But so when you left, right, we still carried the torch to
Yep.
Chris's point. The mission still goes forward.
Yep.
And then I need a break, and I left, and you guys are still there.
Yep.
And now Chris is back there. and I'm
Carmine's the only
hearing
one that stuck it out for some reason.
glutton for punishment. And
Remind me to say this later.
Okay.
Right. It's like that ride that is not ended yet, and I want it. I'm going up that
song that never
ends. Right.
talk about that later.
It's interesting. So if you look at from the outside, which I've been doing, from the outside looking in, I realized how toxic I became, and I was so solely focused to make sure that everybody succeeded, and I never let people. Not that I did let certain people fail with intention, but with intention. But when I got to the point where I knew that I was being let down, not by people who worked with me, and not by the team who worked under my direction, but by my leadership, that's when I was like, I need a break. I need to recalibrate myself, and I need to reconnect to my spouse, because we're not getting any younger. There are more years behind us than are in front of us. Let's be real.
Right.
And it's quality over quantity at this point.
I'm gonna preface this. I love
that you don't want me to kick you.
I love you a lot.
She doesn't have shoes on.
I love you
Which
very
is good. It
much.
won't hurt that hard, okay?
Okay. But
You still have shrapnel in that shin, right?
2024 for the Chavez household has probably about been one of the best years we've ever had together. Just because it's like...
And how many years has that been?
Going on 11?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Wow.
There we go. Yeah. Going on 11.
It took you this long to have a good year.
Well, no.
Yes. So let's think about that.
This is what the people are going to hear out there.
But what I'm saying...
It's going to be 11 years before I'm happy in my marriage.
And remember, you have the 7-year hitch.
Please clarify, because that's what's going to happen.
So what I really meant to say was, what had happened is that, like, there was no go for anyone else. It was go for us. Like, we have our little things that we do all the time. Like, right now we're watching Bizarre Food America with Andrew Zimmerman. Sorry, Chef, I butchered it. But... we went clamming one year on the eastern shore of Virginia, and she found a place where you drove, met a guy, had a couple kayaks, you paddled to the spot, and he walked you for like 2.5 hours through the process of how it all works and how to get the clams. And you picked up your own clams, you took them back, and I made clam linguine in white wine sauce. It was by far one of those experiences. You're just like, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. This is great. Now, going back to my statement about 2024, that's what this has been like. This whole year has been exactly like that.
Experiences.
Yeah. Right.
Not just go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
You guys know, because we travel for work, and it's not you're traveling on a Monday and coming back Tuesday. No. It's you're out Monday, and if it's a good week, you're coming home Thursday or Friday if you're lucky, right?
Yep.
I mean, we're not all heading off to Miami for 2 weeks.
Right,
it's
just
not
chilling.
A party.
Exactly. It's work.
It is work.
Well,
exactly.
For some people.
I mean, there is that. Yes.
Yeah, but every now and then you
True.
got an idiot that'll decide to bring a cat to work that shouldn't bring a cat to work.
Yeah.
Or somebody who decides that they're just not going to go to the site and do any work. I'm going to go hang out somewhere else. Like, I'm going to hang out with my family and never show up for work.
Nope, exactly. But to that, you guys independently...
We still have that picture, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
It's on my phone.
Yeah.
I look at it every now and again for a laugh. You guys kept going. And at some point, there was an aha moment where y'all realized that you wanted to be together. And that's amazing. And then...
Oh, yeah, hold on. Before you jump over to me.
Uh-oh.
We're going to have to...
Do I get to kick you again?
We're going to have to revisit that, because I think that is a story that needs to be told for everyone to hear. Okay, go ahead, Ben.
I have Jen to thank for bringing her back.
But remember, she left.
Left us hanging.
So, we'll touch on that also. So when I think about that, like, yeah, we went 100 miles an hour because we had a mission. We had our own mission. Like, we wanted to get a certain amount of money in the bank and a certain amount of things done, and needed to rebuild, and coping with his PTSD and coping with my transitions into this life that we live down here.
Absolutely.
Very different. Significantly different than what one might be used to. You made big adjustments also in your personal life. Carmine, huge adjustments. So to sit back and say, okay, I'm in my 50s. right? So I'll be 52 in December. And what do I have and what do I truly need? And it wasn't until I looked at him and I said, I need a break. Mm-hmm. I can't continue to do this. I would come home a miserable, cantankerous wretch. And that's truly what I was.
And sometimes I was even while she worked from home.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, yeah, because you had no peace even when you were at home.
No.
You were literally at the point where I know you were working 7 days a week. And the reason why I knew is that when you get up on a Monday, you'd see emails, Sunday or Saturday late in the evening. And it's just like, what is this worth?
And for you,
what is it all about?
And I'm sorry, but I will say this, and you can say what it is, but for the organizations that email people on the weekend, shame on you.
Yeah.
Absolutely shame on you for taking, not just for like intruding on your employees or your workers' time, but on your own family's time.
Right.
That's
more than anything.
Yeah,
that's
an absolute shameful.
Yeah. But we live in a society that tells you that, the person who can outwork the next person is going to be the one who wins. And at the end of the day, you may win for a minute, but when you die off or when you decide to walk up there, they don't give, like I said, we were talking earlier, they don't give a 2 cents about who you really are, what you've accomplished, and what you've truly done. And you can give me a million certificates. It does not change how I've become or who I've become because of the situation that, they keep you in. Because they make you feel like if you don't do this, you're not going to make it here. You got to be elevated there. Tell us what your career is going to be like. What do you want to be when you want to grow up? I know what I want to be. I don't need you to tell me how I need to be. And that's part of the problem, right? And Carmine knows I'm that individual will tell you F off in a minute. I don't have time for your nonsense. And she'll tell you the best story that when we were on the call, she said the look on your face, and I just can't help it. I'm one of those individuals that don't have time for the nonsense. I've got work to do. I want to get it done. I want to get it done in a timely manner. I don't need you to sit here and play games with me when we're in a meeting. We got things we need to do, right? So, but to kind of go back to where we're all talking, it's the reality of what we've become, and we truly understand what it means to grow up, right? And I think that's where it's really about, is that sometimes we don't sit back and think, because you hear that word, well, what do you want to become when you grow up? I already know what I am. Now, I just need for you to leave me alone so I can get there.
Right.
And it's not that you don't appreciate having a job, because we know without having those jobs or running a business or whatever the case may be, because you depend on people for everything, right? Yes. So at the end of the day, without having these items, you can't live the way we live. And we've made the choice to live the way we want to live.
Absolutely.
I can sit around and do nothing all day, get my little government check and be good, but that's not the life I want to live.
So let's be clear that we all work in the same place. Mm-hmm. And this discussion is not specific to the government work that we do. It's specific to life in general.
Yep,
because
exactly.
In the commercial world, it's the same. And
yep.
in the government world, it's the same. There's always someone who feels that they know what the direction is. And I've learned to accept change. It's always there. It's constant. And you go with it, and you have that moment where you say, I told them so, but they didn't want to listen.
Right.
But that is something that needs to happen naturally. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to say that, we're not talking specifically about...
but at the end of the day, people can still relate, right?
Yes.
Somebody out there is going to relate to every one of our stories and connect with it, because this is the real world we live in. Yeah. Society has made it very difficult to make you feel like people feel like they're a nobody because they don't feel like they've excelled, because everybody's telling you have to have a degree to excel. You have to have exactly. It's every day.
If you're not a Real Housewife or one of those reality TV shows
or a socialite,
it's not. I mean, you get reality, everything going off Carmine's you want a real look at what it means to be nobody and get paid nothing. Go work in a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Busboy, straight up.
Yep.
Yeah. $12 an hour, and you're paying $60, $70 for a meal, and it's we as a society have our values and our priorities backwards.
Absolutely.
We absolutely do.
Absolutely.
But we're all guilty of it.
Yeah.
So let's
absolutely, we are.
Call it what it is. So private sector, my entire life, owned multiple businesses. And I still was pushing myself because I needed to have the shoes, or I wanted to have the watch, or I
the
needed
big
to
house. We got, have
house.
that persona that we're also being
the
told
Joneses,
that this is right.
Whoever
Exactly.
the Joneses are, could be the
Absolutely.
Joneses, the Smiths. We all had it. We
Tom
all
and
had to deal with
Stacy.
it.
Tom and Cindy. Sorry.
So
It's a running inside
So,
joke between the Chavez family
when
and the
we
Chavez
look
family.
at, when we look at these, we need a break moments. It doesn't matter if you are a hairstylist, if you are a nail tech, if you are a barber, a cook. The industry's not the point. It's how do we put ourselves into the position where we say, is what we're doing benefiting us personally,
Right.
and our families and those that we care about? And I would like to think that maybe people will have their aha moments when they should, and that there is regardless of what deity or non-deity you believe in, but there is an energy that you get, an emotion.
Absolutely.
So that's how I knew it was for me, is that I had this emotion that I felt disconnected in my life outside of that office. And I knew that if I wanted to continue to be in a good place for myself, physically, mentally, emotionally, and with my spouse, again, also intimately.
I'm the spouse.
You are the spouse. Or at least
This person sitting next to you.
I mean, for now, you can borrow. If you want. I loan him
Are you
out.
afraid to
That's
use
my
his
second
name?
hubby. Yeah.
You know what's funny is that
For all my
spouse.
veterans out there, just know I am the veteran dependopotamus.
Veterans and the fathers.
you know what's so funny? Like, you see that, like his name. I don't ever really call him Chris.
No, she doesn't.
I know. So it's like when he called me Jenn before, I was like, who are you talking to? Like,
Yeah.
what ew? Anyway,
Sorry.
so I hope that when people think about their place and their time of what they're doing, they say, oh, you know what? Maybe I do need a break. And there's nothing wrong with it. And whether that's a week or 2 weeks or a change of career, like my career shift, my break and changing my entire thing of what I was doing, yeah, it was scary. It's still scary. But at the same time, it was needed. And I love the fact that you did that for yourself when it came to your podcasting and to your business. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I was stoked as all hell when you said you were going to come back. So I was like, right on, we're going to get shit done. But at the same token, that was what was right for you at the time.
Exactly.
So huge kudos for that recognition for self-awareness. And it also afforded you the ability to cuff your hubby.
Oh yeah, so let's that's a great segue. How'd that happen?
Oh, you got to talk to
Because
the
I will
maestro
I
over
will
here.
tell you right now, like from where we all have been working at since I got there in 2018. I've known you two.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
all been there a while.
Well,
so
we knew each other a long time because we worked together, right? But we never really. Kim was the person that who yelled across the aisle, saying, "You people need to get people need to get the fuck out of here because you're making too much noise." That's basically how she came off. She came off as a straight up bitch and threw people out of my cubicle because the dicks of the world, right, would be there for hours. I said, "Don't you have a job to do?" But then again, I allowed that to happen, and I never saw her as a bitch or a bad person.
I love how you come back around to cover your ass.
Smart man, right?
Because my question is like, boy, I wonder what happens back in the back room in this house. Oh no.
His ass is getting whooped.
But what is the question you really want to know? How this whole
I mean, like we've heard the story and we know how it went down for you two, but like honestly, prior to that, what led up to it?
So what led up to it was very many months of therapy.
Months of therapy.
The
Yes.
therapy had nothing to do with anything other than work-life balance and the ghosts in the closet and unboxing the closet. Ashley, Ashley, she's perfect. Thank you for turning me on to her.
You're very welcome.
She was.
She's a savior.
Yeah, and I didn't.
I just want everybody to understand that, like the statement that he made, that Ashley is his therapist.
Our.
Their therapist, right? You're right. Yeah.
That should be a funny story when we share that one.
Oh,
but yeah, that's a different podcast.
Yeah.
But as I changed my way of looking at things and thinking of things, and it's not what's important in my life at this point in time. So she comes back, no big deal. It was just another work relationship. And then we went out several
couple
after
times.
hours things, right?
Yeah, after work.
And
but not by ourselves. We were hanging
not
out
by
with
ourselves.
people.
Yeah, hanging out with other people, and she saw me in a different light. I saw her, because working, all you see is the professional bullshit that goes on and the interaction that goes on. You don't see, I let my hair down, although I don't have any hair, but I let it down.
I feel you.
and it was a different atmosphere, right? So it says, hey, this is someone I'd like to spend more time with. And it became accelerated, let's put it this way. So little subtle differences about, hey, can I walk you to your car? And go, no, I've got some right down
But
here.
there was things you did before we even went out. Like,
Right.
there was things showing up on my desk. I didn't even know
So,
how
yeah,
this coffee would get there. Flowers would be on my desk. I'm like, and I'm asking everybody else.
What the shit?
I mean,
you got Oreo cookies.
I got cookies.
right. So there was subtle things going on. And even prior to that, I remember you telling me that the one day I was fussing at you at work, but you got in trouble. Everybody got in trouble. The men got in trouble. Remember how our leadership would get mad about how the men would come in dressed?
Yes.
And
The lumberjack.
The lumberjack.
So
Right.
the colonel says, you dressed like a lumberjack.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, thank you. It's like, thank you, sir.
May I have another?
But the one day he went back to being who he really was and how he dressed. And I complimented him. I was like, oh, you need to wear blue more often. And he said that triggered something.
That triggered something.
I love the color blue on.
Somebody took the time to not call me a lumberjack, but said, hey, blue looks good on you. You should do it. So it was the compliment there. And then it was on the fast track. Without going into too much time with what happened. But it was.
I was going to say,
we got time. Yep, we got time.
She was in Maryland visiting her
my son. Yeah.
And I was in New Jersey visiting my sister. It was the holiday, and I said, I really like being here, but I want to get out of here because I want to see Kimberly. And she was on her way home. And granted, I'm 5 hours away from Virginia, and she's two, right? And it's like I must have broke the land speed record, because all of a sudden
it was like I probably got home. It was definitely a 2-hour trip. And like 30 minutes later, I get this call. Hey, I'm back in town. I'm like, what'd you do? Fly back here? I'm thinking I'll be late in the afternoon. No big deal. He's like, I'm here. Let me put my stuff away. I got to come out and see you. Okay. He's like, I need to talk to you. We knew. I think I really knew actually that because it was Thanksgiving last year, right before Thanksgiving last year because he kept coming up here to Dumfries, right? Kept coming up here.
Because I was moving to Dumfries.
Right,
Stupid me. I signed a lease to an apartment. Right.
You couldn't have waited 2 freaking weeks?
If I waited 2 weeks,
he wouldn't have had a place to stay.
I wouldn't have a place to stay because I needed to get out of my place.
There you go.
Right.
So,
but it was at the restaurant.
It was at Montclair.
We're standing in the rain. It rained so hard the day before Thanksgiving because he was leaving that next day. Mm-hmm. And he called me at work. He's like, hey, you want to meet me for dinner? I'm like, sure. I said, but I'm literally like 30, 40 minutes away. I'm trying to get through this traffic. I was running late leaving from work. Mm-hmm. And he waited. He waited for me at Montclair until I got there. And I was like, okay, this is cool. So we had dinner, spent, I don't know, probably about 2 hours in that place in our same little booth we like to sit in. And it was the leaving part that is where I realized he's standing in the rain. I have an umbrella, but he's by his car, nothing over his head. And he's just standing there. And he's looking at me. I was like, are you okay? He's like, yeah. And I said, well, text me or call me, let me know you made it to your sisters, that you're okay. And his smart remark as usual. Well, he says, I only do that to my girlfriend. I said, well, you looking at her.
Aww.
Okay.
You're such a wise ass, literally.
But at that moment, I knew there was something there.
Can I kiss you?
No, that was 2 or 3 weeks later. You asked me.
You waited 2 to 3 weeks?
Literally. He was such a gentleman.
You're so cute.
Such a gentleman all the way through.
Wow.
But yeah, when we texted back and forth a little bit on Thanksgiving Day.
I think we had sex that night too.
No.
High five, we did.
I'm like, no, you were a gentleman about that too. You asked for everything before you take it.
Wow.
So that's the Reader's Digest version.
Right, Reader's Digest.
And then, how it accelerated was another story. I don't know if we want to go into it now.
We don't have to. I mean, we'll talk about it again later. But yeah, it was.
But it had to do
it
with
was very quick.
Checking out Christmas gifts is how it started.
Got it.
Hey, Santa.
He's a good Santa too. Yeah.
Santas are important.
Yeah, he's a Santa all year round. I love it.
Santa or saint? Wait, hold up. Hopefully not a saint. Just be a Santa.
Right.
That's funny. Well, that's good.
But yeah,
Very
I
nice.
love it.
so yeah, there's definitely more to the story, and we'll come back to it. But yeah, I mean, I think in general that we're all just at that point in our lives, like we said, that we want to slow down. We have slowed down. Each one of us have to take different steps because we're all kind of in different places as individuals, right? Yes. So that's a part of it. Even though we're not, we're couples and we're married, we still have things that
we like to do individually.
That we individually like to do, and we're still trying to work around. I mean, even for me, 19 years of being by myself, and then all of a sudden now I'm remarried. Again, it's just like, woo, okay. My thoughts, but the best part about I thought I was going to really struggle with having to share after being by myself all those years, but it has been the best. It has been so much fun to be able to know I can get up every day, and we actually have a lot of our best conversations in bed, and we just sit there and just talk about the craziest stuff.
It gets so stupid at times. We're just laughing about silly shit, and it's really nice because it's
and we love to shop. And I've never met anybody who loves Costco as much as he does. Costco, grocery shopping.
So much that I can only go once a month. That's it.
Yeah, we had to stop the weekly Costco. I had to talk about this, okay? Because if you're looking for a wonderful husband, I'm going to tell you about Mark.
If you're looking for...
He's going to train your new husband.
Hey,
he's going to
there
train
you go.
You how to be a real husband.
It's a new career.
Like you can go for the over 40 crowd for the guys who aren't married yet. Like, let me train you. I'm going to show you how to be.
He knows how to be a great
trophy husband.
No, yeah, they're a trophy husband. I was looking for the sophisticated word.
You don't have to be ripped.
Yeah,
you don't have to have a flowing lock of hair. These are the things that will win you. Win your wife's respect and adoration and love.
What are you looking at me
for? The rest of your life.
I was trying to imagine you with flowy hair.
There is one picture, and that's me with holding my baby brother. And I was like 4, he was like 2. It was like flowy, curly hair. Other than that, we don't know what happened. I ended up like my father. Love you, Dad. But
it's the truth. It's like, everybody has this perspective or persona about what they think who they're going to marry, what their life's going to look like, right? Because what you visualize and see every day, it's about what society tells you that it's supposed to be like, or what your family tells you it's supposed to be like, or what some of your friends think who you think you're supposed to be with, or what you're supposed to be doing, right?
Absolutely.
But the reality is that to have a wonderful husband like I have, who cooks, cleans, loves to grocery shop, loves to go shopping with me. I mean, there's nothing that's in this house that we haven't done together.
And I'm actually going to line dancing with you.
And goes to line dancing with me. Yes, we got a new class up here at the clubhouse.
Oh, okay.
We live in the old folks community, so
I love
it
about everything about that comment. Love it.
But it's the truth. It's so much fun that we're really broadening and opening up as a couple, doing things that we have never done before. The balloon ride. If you had not told us about the balloon ride, that was so fun.
I'm so glad you guys went.
Now hold on.
And we met some very strange people.
Yes, we did.
But not strange. But
they were very nice.
They were very nice people. Yeah. I don't mean strange.
You guys y'all one upped us because we didn't do the balloon ride.
No, we did the plane.
We did the biplane ride, and let me tell you, when you're sitting she's sitting on my lap, the guy's behind me, like, this is awkward. Okay, so I didn't say that right. It's a biplane. There's a part of it that's separated with the pilot behind me. Yeah, never mind. So,
what's funnier is that I was sitting there with my camera taking pictures of the hot air balloons that were under.
God,
us.
Oh, wow.
Have you never seen her hot air balloon picture that she took
No.
in the plane?
Oh, it's so cool.
It is epic. It is by far one of the greatest pictures that she's
I have
taken.
not seen that.
She even has one of
Yes.
it, one just lifting off the ground, but you can't see the ground, but it looks like it's literally, you're like, I can see the stitching on this balloon. That's how close it is.
Oh my gosh.
It is
That's
gorgeous.
beautiful.
So it is
Did
bright.
you go in the checkered one? The red, white, blue, yellow one?
Yes. That's the one we were in.
That was the one that was tethered and going up and
Yeah.
down.
But it was still
Oh,
very
you didn't-
high up in the ground.
Oh,
don't
you didn't
realize.
go on a ride.
Oh,
No.
no. Because if you did the ride,
They-
that was like 3 or 4 miles
So
or
they
whatever.
would take off
Yeah.
and then go
Away.
away.
Yeah, so
And then they just drop you
it,
off.
and then
you drove
And
back.
then they drive you back.
Yeah, so that's like they had one like that where we down by us, and you could take off, and we would just watch this one for like hours. We're like, is that one ever going down? Like, how far is that out?
They're gonna find a lizard and shit.
That's like 20 miles out.
But the tethered experience was
it
an
scary?
experience. Yeah, because you think that when you're standing on the ground looking up, you really think that you're not going up very far.
Right.
But when you're actually inside that balloon, I was
You
like,
didn't look down, did you?
Yeah, of course I did. I was taking pictures, And
we wouldn't have
doing-
died if we fell out. We would have died. You broke a leg. but
Yeah,
never
you would have
died.
hurt yourself because you were really pretty far up there in the air. And especially
the people
amount
were
of
funny
people.
too.
Oh my
because
gosh.
We met this couple there that was just
Special?
very
Yes,
special.
he was
His-
scared.
Oh my God, was he crying?
He was.
He
what?
said he was going to cry. He
was-
almost
he was-
talked himself
He
out
was
of it.
doing some liquid courage before getting on. This is-
Nice.
Yes,
So it's like-
he was very scared.
Did y'all go to the soda ice cream shop down there?
No, we didn't.
So the antique store
The
right
first-
near there
the
is
first
like
thing that-
amazing.
Oh, we seen the antique store, but we didn't stop in. Remember?
Yeah,
You
it's
got
right
it.
on that corner there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that road going there was a real
Oh, I was
trip.
scared to
Going
death
there,
of
right? She's
driving.
going. Is this a one-way? No, it's just two-way. Watch, there'll be cars coming towards us. And
Oh,
somebody-
yeah.
Oh my God!
And on the way
It was like
back,
this. I
on the way
like,
back,
oh
it
my
was
gosh.
pitch black, so it was like we're not stopping there, even if it was open.
Yeah.
But what was I going with this?
I don't know, dear.
Oh.
You're having a moment. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
That is a nice area. Like we go down there quite a bit. Like
Yeah. It's beautiful,
yeah,
Tappahannock.
Tappahannock,
Northern
Virginia.
Neck?
Yeah, that's
cool.
cute little area. So that's
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
go back
we,
there.
we had a good
We'll
time.
go back there again to explore some other things that were going on. But it's definitely a different part of the world.
I mean, you get that here. I mean, so that was one thing. The one absolute thing I loved about doing the dishes is that even from where we live, right? You go 10 miles left, 10 miles south, 10 miles, 20 miles right, you're in the country. And there's some places back there where you're like, why do people in Virginia not know about these places? Like you a lot of people don't know where they can go to find quality things. Like for me, it's food. I mean, even today, we were watching TV show and something about Wagyu beef, and I know there was a lady who comes up our way, and I got to talking to her today because she was at our farmer's market. I was like, I'm going to get a thing of Wagyu beef, and we're going to have it. We're going to try it, blah, 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 blah. And we spent 30 minutes talking, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be late to get
Yeah,
McLemore-Pesce.
unless you go out to these places, you're in this little circle, and you only stay in there.
Yeah.
You don't know what else is out there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like,
there's definitely a lot of nice stuff around our community, and we've been trying to find different places every week if we can, every weekend, whether it's eating or whether it's just trying something new, and have realized that.
I think you came unplugged.
Oh, did I come unplugged?
I think so. You're kind of
Am I
Echoey?
sounding muffled?
Yeah.
Okay, well, can y'all hear me? Okay, I don't want y'all to miss
Ish.
out on my
Like,
great
you're good.
conversations. Can you hear me better?
I can hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so the key is trying to do something new in your community. A lot of people are so stuck in, I just want to be in the city, so to speak. And obviously, this is not the city. DC is the actual city, but there's so many nice things that you can do right here. And we are experiencing Manassas because we're close to Manassas, and then all the other outer things in our community, and it's been fun.
You guys got a great. Well, Manassas has a great downtown.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
we've been there. Yeah.
So
we even ventured into the mall over there.
Yeah.
oh, God bless you.
It's actually grown. They've changed it. It's becoming a new, I guess, paradigm. They have a new corridor called the Entertainment Corridor, which is where we actually
The place
walk
with the go-kart
into.
in the back, right?
Yes, and they're adding on. It's
Bowling
yeah, it's a
alley,
go-kart,
the
bowling alley out there.
The
a
place
new
that we ate
restaurants.
at, Burgers at Manassas, right? Because we were hungry before we were going to the furniture place.
We're just looking for a specific piece we couldn't find, obviously.
Had the unbelievable burger. And
Really?
and the chili that he made
and
for
they had
us.
gluten-free food there too. If
Really?
you ask for it, they'll make
Now
it for
I'm
you.
excited.
And it's a music bar because they have music venues there. So what'll happen is they'll have a band playing. They do music bingo where instead of a bingo card with numbers, it's songs. And when they play the
All
song,
right, now that's pretty cool.
yeah,
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I haven't been there yet,
What?
but we're gonna go there.
You're gonna play bingo?
Why not?
Are you
It's
getting
music
ready
bingo.
for like
Listen,
your 70s?
Hey,
It's music bingo.
I'm going to tell you something. I did
Is
my
there money
first
to win?
bingo when I was young.
No,
and
you did
I
not.
laughed because I was like the youngest person there. All these older ladies were there, and they were fawning all over. Like, you're only doing one card? I says,
Do you need more than one?
I says, I obviously don't know how to play bingo. She goes, look at this. And she's got a table full. Like, she got 20 cards. I says, I'm having a hard time doing one card.
Seriously?
I was gonna say.
So she goes, come on, I'm going to show you. She goes, buy 5 more cards. It's like,
Did you?
oh, yeah, and she was marking off my shit, too.
Old girl was multitasking at its finest.
That's
They
funny.
called that number. You didn't do it? I don't even know where I am.
So she was field checking your shit, is what you're saying.
She was field checking my stuff. She was checking
That's
my
great.
homework.
Oh my gosh.
That is awesome.
And I was laughing because I thought it was hilarious. I didn't care whether I won bingo or not. Just watching who's got their little troll dolls, who's got their little good
Oh,
luck
like their
charms.
voodoo dolls to
Yeah, they
like
got
wish
all
them
these
luck.
good charms. And then when they hit
How do
it,
you know about this?
I've had an Italian grandmother, I know, and an Irish grandmother, believe me, who smoked.
I'm still trying to imagine you sitting there playing bingo.
I wasn't allowed to play. I had to sit there, like I wasn't there. Just saying.
Yes, kids are to be seen,
Yeah,
not
not
heard.
heard, yes.
That's
and
what we used to hear
it's
growing
right,
up.
some of
Amen.
them had their grandchildren there.
Stop it.
And they were the most well-behaved kids because they were probably beaten.
Yes. Because nowadays it's like, let's take our child to the winery and let them run
Let them
amok.
run all over the place.
It's like-
Such a
the
pet
wrong
peeve of
place to
mine.
be.
Like,
Right.
Let me tell you, my father saw me run around here like this. Well, I tell you what, he'd be like just inching under his shirt, like I'm gonna take this belt off and I'll whoop this child from across.
We
Love you,
always
Dad.
used to give the look, or either the speech before you get out the
this-
car.
There was always a speech.
Yes. Don't touch nothing. Don't look at nothing. Don't say nothing.
Ours was the snap or the whistle. And if you didn't respond to the snap, and the whistle was heard and you didn't come a running, it was your ass.
You were done. That's right.
Yep.
We got the speech. It's very simple. Sit there, mind your manners, don't act a fool.
Yeah. That was.
They need that,
That
today.
that's
They
all.
got enough
That
of it,
see
okay?
this right here. This
was-
part is a whole different day too.
That's a different day. But there were 2 things that my mother was a disciplinarian. My father wasn't. He would yell, but he wasn't a disciplinarian. The 2 things that I feared the most. My mother had 2 things. One is the wooden spoon that she stirred the sauce with, and they're not made like today's spoons. These were like oak trees.
Yep.
And when you got hit with that one,
The size of an oak tree.
The other was a short, I would say maybe 12, 13 inches of a rubber hose, but not the rubber hose you buy today. It had the fibers in it.
Oh, the, like
Oh.
the,
Solid.
You couldn't even bend it. That's how it. And when you got hit with that, you had a welt.
That was the shit that we used to attach to the dishwasher
Yeah,
back in the day.
yeah. But nowadays it's like I'm gonna call the police. It's like shut up. It happened to you. Like just,
Yeah, and it's not abuse. It's but the discipline was what they were used to, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how
There's
we were
nothing-
disciplined.
I mean, for
but
God's
there
sakes.
was nothing wrong with that. That's what your behind is for.
That's
now,
right.
You know, you need
it's
to,
like our
you
parents.
use it.
Our parents grew up with parents who like practically lived in the Great Depression. It's like really, you want to talk about abuse? Like suck it up, dude. Just shut up. Like
Yeah.
You don't know nothing.
We can't imagine that.
No, one of my favorite things Chris's dad would say, he'd be telling us a story, and Chris like, I remember that. He's like, what did I do? And his father's like, nothing. It was general purpose.
Yeah.
Just to remind you that if you were to think about being stupid or act a fool, I'm going to whoop your ass.
He told me this one time. I was like, what? Of course, this also came from the guy who's like, listen. And this is how I don't remember what we were talking. We were talking about something. He goes, listen. Unlike your brother, right, who can get a ticket on the first 2 hours of getting his driver's license, I was like, oh, okay, where's this going? I know this. He goes, you are the world's best drunk driver. I was like, what are you talking about, man? He goes, you drive better drunk than you do normally. I was like, what? What's that supposed to mean? I don't know what it's all about, but that's what he told me that one time. You remember that, don't you? Yeah, it was terrible.
My gosh.
So.
Nope, I'm a firm believer that we do and should always have conversations about today's society and how children are.
Yeah,
it's definitely a different world, and I'm actually thankful that we have no kids that age right now. No, it's just too different.
I wouldn't want a parent in today's day and age.
It's a different world today than what we grew up in and what we were accustomed to when we were kids.
Yeah.
And it goes from all the different, we didn't have cell phones back then. We didn't have the internet.
No.
We had no proof.
Right.
Like, there was no way to provide proof of what happened unless there was a bruise, bloodied, or you didn't show up. That was it.
Right, that's it.
But
because when you came home at night, unless you had those markings, there was no question. But we did some stupid stuff.
It's like
I did some stupid stuff. I know that.
I mean, even like with bullying, like my dad would be like, "So,
what'd you do?
Did you finish it?" And that was all he would say. You're like, he said, "It's okay. I will not get in trouble. Let's do this." Nowadays, it's like I posted this on Instagram, on my Twitter feed, blah blah blah, whatever they call it now. It's like, really, like,
and deny.
Always deny. What are you talking about?
I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Yeah.
What are you talking about? I
wasn't even in the same state.
On the porch. What are you talking about?
You're an 8-year-old kid. I know. I was in the same state. Figure it out.
That's when you look at the person, you say, "You sure it was me? Are you sure it was me?"
Sure?
Like,
well, okay. Let me ask you to this, because we've had this conversation because we hear it from people at our gym. Y'all know what a Furby is?
Oh yeah.
No, you don't.
I never had a Furby.
No,
a furry.
Furry.
Oh, a furry.
Yeah.
Different thing.
Do you know what a furry is?
No.
Gross.
It's a child. It's a child or an adult who identifies as an animal, i.e., like a cat, where they have to have litter boxes in schools for these children to utilize.
This is a thing
today.
Yeah.
So it was just in the news about 6 months ago. Was it? A teacher was terminated because
she didn't allow the child to utilize the litter box.
Okay, you know what?
Not go to the restroom, not go to the boys' room or the girls' room, but to drop.
So
drop trowel and.
So when this child becomes an adult, they're gonna let litter boxes in the office too.
Well, let me tell you, like,
but
my dad would throw me.
So I come from a family of educators. My father, after he got out of the Army, he became a teacher. My grandmother was a principal. My mother was a learning consultant. My aunt, all of them, all in the education realm. And wasn't my path in life, cool great-grand. But there was one thing they always told me, which was the diversity, not ethnically or racially, but just the diversity of individuals and children that they come across and the level of involvement from parents. And I get it. Two income families. Maybe I was a latchkey kid. Both my parents were. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I wasn't dumb enough to get caught doing dumb shit. Like, there were boundaries, and we knew that. Now we're in a situation where these teachers are being expected to not only educate the children, but to parent
them. Thank you. And that's the problem.
It's a huge issue.
Absolutely.
But then when they do parent them, they're getting terminated. I have to tell you, if I were that teacher... And this isn't to start a whole debate about who's a good parent, who's not. It's about, if I am a teacher and I say to the person, to this child, you will use a restroom, male or female, don't care. You are not going to to Carmine's point, drop trowel and squat in a
litter
box.
Exactly. That's meant for an
Like,
animal.
And then I'm terminated? Let me tell you.
You know,
I would be losing my mind on people. And the fact that it's okay and that people, well, you have to let them express themselves.
No,
you don't.
Because in the real world, that you cannot have a litter box
Could
in
you-
your office.
Could you
me-
imagine if
Okay.
somebody walked into our office
Right,
and
in the
decided
cubicle, and decided, hey, I need to take basically a dump, right? Because this is who I am.
I'm dead.
the
Like,
level of
literally.
expression for someone to be a cat is just that. There was a musical called Cats.
Exactly.
You're not that good. Just
slow down.
slow down, dude. It's like even the parent, like in the parenting thing. Like I remember that I would get a call, or my parents would get a phone call on a landline attached to the wall, and my mom would look at me like I got a bewildered look on my face. I'm like, uh-oh, she found out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, there was no parenting at school. That teacher called
Thank you. Exactly.
your parents to parent you at home so it could not be seen what happened. You know? It's like...
But at the end of the day, the teachers aren't paid enough as it is.
Nope.
And to
No.
sit there and ask them to be the parent too.
Yep.
Where's your responsibility? And then everything I've taught you, and I'm parenting you, you go right back home to that same environment, and it's a shit show, and we're starting all over again, right? So that's the problem. That is not our role, and as a teacher, that is not their role, is to be their parents. They're there to teach you the everyday basic life things on top of escalating up to whatever else it is that you're great at doing, because we all know everybody learns differently. But to come up with these new things of identity, I'm just like, really? Do we have time for that? I mean, even back some years ago when they were talking about just even with basic communication and
Math.
there was another, my mind just went blank. How,
Basic math.
No, well, here's another better one where you can't even use cursive. They just brought cursive back.
Yes.
I was like, are you kidding me? You can't even sign a contract without doing it in a signature.
Actually, have you guys seen the meme where this guy, like this dad sitting in front of this door, and this goes with what we're talking about. He's got like this cup of coffee, and he said the kids wanted to do something. I gave them an analog phone, and I wrote directions in cursive on how to use the analog phone, so on and so forth. And it's been 5 hours since I've heard any noise from them. They're still trying to figure it out. It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, you can't read. You can't write.
I didn't know that they took cursive
is...
out.
Yes.
I had no idea. Amanda learned, my daughter learned cursive in school, and we were someplace, and somebody said, no, they don't teach it. Oh, we were at the gym. And I said, what do you mean they don't teach your kids? How are they signing their name?
Right.
Oh, you can use Adobe, use a digital signature. You can have it done in Word.
Are you kidding me?
I swear to you.
I wrote, so before
gosh.
I came back to the other side here, I wrote something to one of our EAs, and I wrote it in cursive because I was having a moment. I was like, oh, let me see if I can still do it. And I show it to her, and she's like, what does that say? I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I can't read that. I was like, don't you have a college degree? She's like, yeah. I was like, when did you write cursive? She was like, I've never learned how to write cursive. I was like,
what bothers me is that when machines go down, when the internet
don't
down,
even get me started.
How are you going to be able to write properly? A contract has to be done in a signature format, right?
How are people going to
go?
go?
I mean, even to this day, I have a hard time printing because I'm so used to writing
In cursive.
In cursive, right? It's just natural for me to do that. So
Go on, Father Carmine.
Away,
Let's hear it. Bring it. I see you.
Come on, Father
No,
Pesce.
this is what's going to happen when the end of the world comes. There's no internet and the banks are done and stuff like that. The cursive's not going to help you,
No.
right? It's going to be you're going to cut your wrist. You're going to make that contract with blood. That's what it's going to be. We're going back to that time.
Well, you and I have had this conversation, and Jenn knows this. Like,
You've cut your wrist to sign a contract that I don't know about?
no, just with you, my love.
Ew.
We're going to do this.
Yes,
That's right.
exactly.
Yes.
It is. There was a study done by the Department of. Now it's escaping me, but it basically has to do with the power grid going down and so on and so forth. That 90% of our population will cease to exist because they can't do simple things to survive. You know, and it goes back like writing in cursive, doing simple math being able to give somebody change without looking at the screen or the monitor that says, you must give 5 nickels and 2 pennies back, or 10 dimes and 4 nickels and 1 dime and 1 penny back.
Right.
Like that is people not being able to do.
So you know what's funny that you just said that?
What?
I remember in grade school where we had to cut out of the handout the coins.
Oh,
The
I
coins.
know.
Right? Or you'd pop them out.
Pop them out, and
Yeah.
you'd have to make change,
Yes.
and
So
and
they
you'd have
don't
to
do this anymore?
demonstrate that you knew how to do subtraction.
Well,
Yes.
why would
Yes.
they? Like nowadays, it's like, boop. That's all it is. Boop. You know.
But
Disturbing.
there has been times where the internet will go down, and you go to the store, people just can't.
Not even
they
the
don't
store.
even-
Look
it's
what
not
happens when the
anywhere.
internet goes down in our office.
Oh,
They're
that's
like,
like
the
it's
internet's
in the world.
down. It's like, okay,
I can't work without
calm
the internet.
down. It's like it will come back. The lights are still on, so we're all still safe.
Right,
Like calm.
Yeah, but if the lights went out, they'd be freaking out.
Yeah.
There'd be apocalypse going on right now.
Oh my Lord.
I gotta get home.
Yeah,
I got light.
Like that.
I'm
You know
good.
what? That's scary. It is so true that people are so reliant on technology to help. Like it does. It blows my mind that I was at the supermarket and I handed the woman cash, which I normally don't carry cash. I just don't. And when she was giving me change, I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me give you 3 pennies.
And that threw her
And
away.
that threw her off, didn't it?
You would have thought I just
Yep.
took her firstborn, that I was going to slay some dragons, and that she was being sacrificed.
I
Like,
remember.
how dare I?
I remember a time, and it's very rare that we see this. And I got it. I'm the youngest one on the table. But when you walked up to like some counter and they had the little jar of pennies where you
Oh,
could slide one
yeah.
out, but the
Yes.
lady is like, "You got $1 and it costs 1 cent." She's like, "Swipe it off the top, put it in there. Okay, you're good, darling." Like, oh,
Yeah, because
I miss those
that
days.
jar makes their
Exactly.
job so much easier. Because if they had to say, "How do I dish out 99 cents?"
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh God.
it would freak them out.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like, come on.
I'd be surprised they wouldn't put. That's
Simple.
their penny jar that they bring there to make life easier on
Yep.
themselves.
Yeah, it's I said, we definitely live in a different world, but people just don't know how to use simple things anymore, and that's the reality. And even just to think about the basic of learning how to cook a meal. We're in a generation of people who order out, microwave, just don't know how to get up and cook. And if they're cooking for a family, it's, hey, I'm going to give you every starchy thing I can possibly think of because that's the easiest.
Or it's out of a box.
Or to have a
bag.
box, in a bag,
Or
right? It's just
processed.
amazing.
But I think that comes from the instant gratification world that we live in.
Absolutely.
And instant gratification is the foundation, if you will, of where we are in society today. Look, I want money. I'm not waiting for Monday at 08 for it to go to the bank. I'm going to go to the ATM, pop my card in,
Spend
and get.
$4 to get that money.
But the better part
because
about
it's
it,
not my bank,
Right.
So I'm feeding the economy.
Yep.
right?
Not only am I getting money out, and I get everything I want, but I'm paying $4 to get
To
money.
do it.
Exactly. But there's even the other ones where they've come out like Chime or whatever they call them, where you don't even get paid. So because you don't have no money before you get paid, you can get somebody to give you money on a little credit card or debit card ahead of time, $500
But
instantly.
all it is like we used to have those back in the day. They're called
they're called bookies.
Check cashing.
Sorry.
Right. But now that's
Easy,
that's,
New York.
But that's
Easy,
the thing,
my
right?
love.
That's the thing. It's a shame
But it's
that
so
you,
difficult. We take checks. I said, "Do you take check?" Yeah, because my card wasn't working for some reason. I stopped carrying all my cards with me.
Right.
Right. And I said, "Okay, I'm writing out the check. Oh, I can't take this check because it doesn't have your address on it and your phone number."
You don't
I'll
need
write
that.
my address and phone.
Right.
No, that's the store's policy.
policy.
It's got to have the address and the phone, so they know.
Most people don't even know what a check is anymore, though.
Or can't write it because they
can't
don't
write
teach
it.
it.
So that was funny. We recently had our an arborist come and work on our trees. They were trimming up the holly bush, but it's a tree. It's huge. And I said to the guy, can I write you a check, or do you want me to pay by credit card? Like, what works for you? He goes, well, if you pay by credit card, there's a 4% charge.
Yep.
I'm like, well, then I'll write you a damn check.
Right.
And I go grab the checkbook, and I'm writing out a check. And we don't write checks often enough, so it's in the safe. So first I got to go and open this, figure out which safe it's in. Okay,
Right.
it's in this safe. Let me get the check out. I'm writing it out.
The reason is we have quite a few.
We have several
few
safes.
sticks in our
anyway,
house.
And so then I go to hand the guy the check, and he's reading it, and I'm looking at him like he can't read what the hell I wrote. He goes, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "You have no idea what this
Right.
says." And I asked him, I said, do you want me to change the memo to something else? Because I put what Bush they did because they're going to be coming back and doing other work. And he's like, no, I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, they got to put that treatment in.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah, but it's just sad the world with the basic everyday things that you use to survive.
Nope.
People no longer know how to utilize those items.
Like,
and so when we talk about it, it's just people look like at you like you're crazy. You got to check. Who uses checks anymore?
And you know what? That's funny
that every now and then.
It's funny that you use the word survive, right? And a lot of people who don't know this is like if YouTube is crazy. And all these platforms are just crazy because you can go on there and learn how to do anything. Just as long as you do, like, some of us, you going? Yeah, sorry.
By the break, one of the members of this podcast has to go potty.
Has to take a bio break.
Potty break.
But it's like you can learn how to do anything on YouTube or whatever platform you want to do. But it's a matter of like people applying it. Like, so one thing that we do in our house is we use the culinary background of me, and we do a lot of canning and preserving. Mm-hmm. And I tell people this, like, really? You afraid something's going to happen? Something's going to go wrong? It's like, well, first of all, yeah. But the second thing is like, but I can grow and hunt and fish for whatever I want. I can store it, and it's like I don't have to go to the store. My store is downstairs. Like, I'm not running out to get all the toilet paper to eat the bread and everything like that because, my God, there's a windstorm or something like that. So
right, and that's the other thing. It's funny when people, we're gonna get a little bad weather. And don't y'all ever stock up anything? No, we're just gonna go out there and buy everything all at once.
She won't let me go to Costco.
You get to go once a month. You can stock up there.
But you can never have enough toilet paper and Scott towels. Never have enough. And napkins. You know why? Because if you run out of toilet paper, you can use napkins.
What napkins?
Or Scott towels.
For what? Napkins for what?
Napkins.
And if it gets that bad, you can use other towels in the house. Okay.
So we've been doing this for a very long time, where we've done a lot of things to cut stuff out of our budget. Mm-hmm. So like we haven't bought napkins in almost 6 years now, 7 years. Haven't bought a roll of paper towels since then. We use regular towels and just wash them. Just things like that. And it's just like, well, you're trying to help yourself. I mean, you get close enough to the mic, they'll hear you chew on the cookie. But I like this topic is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart because I really think that with the whole learning cursive, people need to get back to basics. Like even if it's just you pick once every 2 weeks to maybe go out and have a dinner is great. Mm-hmm. But you got to pick, nowadays, you got to pick that one place to go out and have a nice dinner. Not like, we're going to just run over here to Burger King or McDonald's and grab something and take it home. Like, hey, that's dinner.
A snack.
Like, that's just not even a snack.
We don't even
but
really
how
like
do people
those
even
places.
afford it?
Well, and that's, don't get me on the topic of affording. Oh, I'm too broke. We can't, we need this and we need that. Okay, well, if you can afford to go out to eat every day or you can afford to go and spend $10,000 for a concert ticket, your priorities is the problem. It's not because you don't have no damn money. It's your priorities.
Who would spend $10,000?
Oh, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of people who won't even pay their bills and will spend $5,000 to $10,000. And a lot of these artists are charging for a concert ticket.
So the other day, my son sends me, Linkin Park's back on tour, which is great.
Cool.
It's one of my favorite bands, right? So I'm looking at all the venues, right? And I said, I ain't paying $500 to sit up in the fucking nosebleed section for this. I'll just go put on the new album. That's all, right? But there are people in the Linkin Park, that club, that's right at center stage, $8,000. Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes.
No.
But that's my point. So when people talk about they don't have no money, no, you have money, but your priorities are going to be the issue. So those are the things that rub me the wrong way when we live in a
priority
world that
thing.
Yeah. The people talk about these. We don't have enough money for this. We don't have enough money, but you go out and buy the most expensive shoes. You go out and buy the most expensive cell phones every year to 2 years. Why do you need a new cell phone every year?
Feed the economy.
But it took her almost a year and a half for me to get a new cell phone. And I was like, why do I need a new cell phone? It still works. What's the reason that I need a new cell phone?
Because it wasn't 5G.
Okay, I don't care. I don't care.
But how long did we have our other phones? 7 years.
Okay, yeah. So come on now, yeah. I was just like you at one point. Yeah.
Huh?
What did the 5G?
Nothing. I mean, okay, no, I'll take that back. I'll take that back. I will take.
Really? Because that 5G was allowing me to contact you when you were in the woods.
Yes, when I go out to the woods in my deer stand.
You know they have those new radios.
I
now,
can.
right?
That's illegal.
Why is it illegal? They're selling them all over the place.
It's illegal. Different thing for hunting. Can't do that.
Okay.
Like I can message my wife, but.
Right. Well, that's a different topic.
Yeah, it's a
we'll
totally
do
different
that
topic.
after this call. Because I want to know, because it's so cool.
I mean, no.
all right, you guys over here talking all the things that we don't need to worry about right now. But anyway,
Fair.
Let me say this. I know what.
Nothing.
You're kicking me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was scratching my
You know
leg.
you're kicking
First
me.
of all, if I wanted to kick you, I'd kick you.
You know you're kicking me.
The other shin's got the shrapnel in it.
What
That's the one
I was
kick.
going to say is, like, for the first one, I think it's been pretty fun.
absolutely.
Like,
This is just
I think that
just like we're at the table at the restaurant.
exactly. It just, oh God, can you imagine some of the people around us? Like, what are they talking about? Oh my God, they're so offensive. No.
Well, like I said, we're going to take this and do it in different environments and, have more conversations, have more fun. We can invite other people to the conversation as well.
Oh, God.
We will eventually go back to doing live again.
Which will be cool.
But yeah, I mean, this has been so much fun.
So much fun.
No, yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely. I'm just glad that you guys are willing to jump in, and especially my husband, because, like you said earlier, this is not his thing, but he has something very
I have the
special
gift of
and
gab
unique.
is what I
And
have.
absolutely. And I told him,
If I like you,
right
if
in.
I don't like you, I don't say a damn thing.
Is that how it
So
works?
for all those people out there,
yeah.
I'm not talking to you.
You're an
I don't
ass.
give a shit.
For all you future guests on this podcast,
Oh my God.
if you're not getting any comments from Father Pesce, you're not getting any comments from Father Pesce.
That's
So,
right.
you know.
That's right. That's right. Father Pesce's here to take care of all of y'all. Give you great advice.
That was Father Rabbi Pesce.
Oh, excuse me, Father Rabbi Pesce. That's right. Yes,
we're
yes,
going to get
yes.
some comments on that one.
Absolutely, absolutely. But that's what we're here for, is to have some comments.
There you go.
But before we close out, does anybody have any last words to go around the room? Go for it.
I'll let her say something. Do you have any last words?
None.
Nothing to put you on the spot or anything like that.
I mean, I appreciate that and all. No, this was great. This was fun. I always love when the four of us get together. It's a good time. And definitely looking forward to some more uncuffed conversations. Reveal some more stuff about life and the pursuit of happiness.
All right.
Oh, my turn?
Your turn.
Oh. No, I mean, I think I
You
said...
have something to say.
I think I said it already. I think this
You
was...
have notes there. I just want to make sure. Besides,
Well, no, my notes said the first one was to Kim. I said, "This is good. Don't stop at an hour." Then I got a pee with a smiley face, and then I know how Kim is like very time oriented, so it's like I just want to make sure we don't go like 5-6 hours, which we probably could do the way we're going.
But we're not going to.
So yeah, so
yes,
that was.
yes.
I wrote something else. Oh, evening. I don't know why I wrote evening. I don't know. That's all I got. I'm good.
All right, and my husband.
Hubby.
The only thing I really wanted to say is we talked about a lot of things, but the most important thing that I wrote down something for is time is valuable. It's something you can never, ever get back once you waste it. Don't waste time on things that you feel are important. Just do it for the things that are important: family, friends, and relationships.
Amen.
And that's
Preach, Father.
There you go.
That was good.
There you go. There you go.
I think I
was
wrote
good.
that down because
You would not be able to do that twice.
No, that was great.
Yeah, you might want to keep that for future podcasts. Like
I'm
just
going to.
like literally keep that. Whenever that was really good.
I can do when I do the mass. I'll do it.
What is the refrigerator when I start hanging out during the middle of the podcast?
I said,
The
what?
refrigerator
the ice
saves
we were
time.
hearing dropping.
Kim and I are looking at each other like there is
What
a
is that
flipping
noise?
ghost
Yes,
going on.
Yes.
I was like, Father brought him back to life.
The ghost is in that penguin behind you. I just want you to know that. It stares
He's
at you.
hanging out. Yeah, he's hanging out right there, looking at you.
Well, now it's creepy that I realize that. Thanks, guys.
That's nothing wrong with the penguin.
Oh my God, the penguin's
It's made out
gonna.
of styrofoam, okay?
That's great. That's great.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, to get back to the show. All right. So again, I really truly thank you all for hanging out with me. And like I said, we are back I am back. I got this amazing crew with me. We will actually have more guests. We will be back on Thursdays. We're going to start out slow, you guys. So I know you're used to me bringing it out every Thursday, a new podcast episode or a live episode. We're coming out slow, but we will still be here monthly. If you would like to be a guest on our show and you want to reveal something, you can reach out to me at Kimberly at WSBILC@gmail.com. And of course, if you want more of your Resource for Success or Unveiled podcast shows, we do take monetary donations to support the podcast. And we accept that either through Cash App. I will have the information so you can see it online, so I'm not going to read everything out. We do have PayPal, Good Pods, Tip Jar, or you can just go directly to the website at www.wsbilc.com. Again, I want to thank you all for listening to us tonight. We will be back next month. We may have some more guests, but if not, you will have the same host. Just be prepared. Make sure you follow us on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to your podcast. But until then, enjoy the rest of your night. Have a good evening.
Later, y'all.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.